Review.
Fighting zombie hordes in an apocalyptic wasteland has never been so depressing. Hi there, it's Kevin Van Ord standing in for Brett Todd to tell you about the War Z. The War Z's look at life after the zombie apocalypse is a complete disaster. It's loaded with unfinished features, tons of bugs, wildly out-of-control player killing, and a system of micropayments that feels like out-and-out theft. The concept behind the War Z is straightforward. It has also borrowed liberally from the impressive Arma 2 mod, DayZ, which is vastly superior. The specific setting is the wilderness of a post-apocalyptic Colorado. You're dumped there with nothing more than a flashlight, a soft drink, a granola bar, and bandages. There are no goals, no quests, and no storyline of any sort. All you have for motivation is the imperative to stay alive, which you do by avoiding being brutally murdered by either roaming zombies or other players. It's a great concept, but that's all the game is, a concept. The War Z is mostly a blank slate, making it a frustrating free-for-all where players murder one another so often that the undead are no worry at all by comparison. You can't settle in long enough to figure out the basics before you're shot dead by some player hoping to loot your corpse. 3 settlements are supposed to serve as no-weapon safe zones, but function better as ambush spots where guys with wildly offensive usernames camp out waiting to murder you. A frustrating addendum to all of this frenzied murder is the inability to spawn back in after being slain. Get killed, and you have to wait an hour of real time to send your character back into the fray. You can go right back in by creating a new survivalist in one of the 5 available character slots, or by replacing an existing character with new cannon fodder, but this delay is still annoying given how often you can get killed. Oddly enough, zombies are an afterthought. It soon becomes clear why players are mainly just killing each other. There isn't much point bothering with the undead. The biggest problem is that zombies are found mostly in and around points of interest on the map, which are thoroughly watched by player killers. Undead also offer more risk than reward. Zombie-populated towns are scattered with goodies like bottles of water and food and medical supplies, but little is worth risking life and limb over. Combat isn't particularly difficult, as you can generally button mash the undead to death. But it is dull, with each zombie taking a dozen or more whacks before going down. Sneaking around them is much more interesting. Meters show how visible you are and how much noise you're making. Slain zombies can at least occasionally be looted for in-game money, but the items that can be bought with in-game funds are sold on a separate tier from the goods that can be bought with real-world money. You have to slay an absurd number of zombies to earn enough cash to afford anything worthy. Zombies are also worth experience points, but these are mostly useless at present, as the character skill tree system is non-functional. Pay-to-play structure is a huge problem with the War Z across the board. The game can be bought in a few different packages that might include some in-game funds. Virtually no decent items come with the default character loadout, and there isn't much worthwhile gear to be found on the map. You soon find yourself all but forced to buy weapons and survival gear with real money to stay even slightly competitive. The overall pricing scheme doesn't look too bad at first, but the micropayment system will bleed you dry in the long run. You rarely get to keep what you buy. Getting killed almost always results in your corpse being looted. You can easily spend $10 in the store kitting out your player with a weapon, binoculars, food, and drink, and then lose it all mere seconds into the game after a hidden bandit headshots you and swipes everything. This makes player killing an even more attractive strategy for anyone who doesn't want to spend real money, which further feeds into the vicious circle that is the War Z. Technical problems cause more frustration. Hacking, server outages, crashes, and visual bugs are just a few of the problems you might run into. And when you consider that glitches are the least of the War Z's concerns, you know that it is simply not worth playing. The only way to draw even the tiniest bit of entertainment from the game is by playing on nearly empty servers to avoid the player-killing cheaters and focus on the undead. And even then, playing the War Z is a typically miserable experience. Best to just avoid this zombie horde altogether.